Hey guys, Mathel here again. Just kind of a quick video today. Bit of a public service announcement that our good faithful friend Elemental Buzzsaw, or Spectral Throw as we should say, will not go quietly into the night, it seems. Despite GGG's best efforts to silence the beast and murder this skill over and over again, it still does actually work to a certain extent with the right setup, the right currency, the right gear. Um, this version of the build right now is crit elemental swords. I'm level 85, and I've had quite a lot of passive reworking. So originally the buzzsaw was a shadow. Went just like down here and all the way across here. Used things like disemboweling, got all the Templar tree. Right now, after staring long and hard at the tree, I figured Scion is probably our best bet, and to abuse many, many jewel sockets to cover up, don't have that one yet, to cover up a lot of the deficiencies of the build these days. So, Buzzsaw, or Spectral Throw as it is, still mechanically exactly the same as it always used to be. It's just that it's been through several nerfs. Spectral Throw, multiplier nerfs, crit multis have been nerfed, auras have been nerfed, just a lot of nerfs in general, but it's still mechanically the same. So if you can get back up to those numbers that used to exist in damage through really good gear and sacrificing some defense perhaps, or or just, yeah, spending lots of currency and reworking the passive tree, which I managed to do, I believe. Still got a pretty damn strong Spectral Throw build. Right now I am sitting at, that's with a flask up, 39,000 on LMP, and as well as that I have Lightning Pen. I figured Lightning Pen is the best sort of a DPS modifier because almost all of my damage is lightning, and it just is quite necessary for the late game where a lot of things are super resistant. Now we're still not super high level, only 85, got another 5 or so levels to go before I am ready to go take on the Uber Atziri. I do believe the build should be able to do Uber again these days, which really is quite a surprise to me and a somewhat testament to the fact that Spectral Throw will not go quietly into the night. As I said though, the biggest problem for the build now is essentially you need incredible gear to pull this off. I'm pretty sure I can't attack this guy yet. Especially not with any flasks, without any flasks up. Ah, that wasn't too bad. This is a temp chains map as well, mind you. So I'll showcase my gear in just a second because that's basically the only way you can make a Buzzsaw build or Spectral Throw build work these days. You need to put heavy amounts of currency into it. It's just not the way it used to be, where you could basically self-found level up and do really well. You pretty much need good leveling uniques, really good uniques, and rares lined up for the end game as well. And then you'll have some pretty good success. What I'm trying to say is, Spectral Throw is just not a cheap build anymore. If you don't have good base of currency and gear, I probably would not be trying it. Otherwise it's going to lead to either really low DPS or really low survivability. Both of which are not fun for anyone. Just sit here and plow through this guy. So we have temp chains on us, so it's a little bit slow. And still on a 5 link, so my 6 link is probably going to be Life Leech. Probably. Since my DPS is quite good at this point, and what I want more than anything is a bit more survivability. And in the end, I'll probably have about 5k life, which is plenty. So have a look at our gear real quick, get away from the portal. To start with, basically have the best foil imaginable. Where is ideal here instead of cold damage, I just haven't got around to recrafting it, near level 7 vegan. But more now more than ever, lots of elemental damage is actually important on your foil, whereas before, for crit builds, it was more about just the attack speed and the crit, and then you scale all your damage through auras and heralds and such. A rat's nest, a Malagaros, you gotta go full DPS for this shit. Decent belt, lots of wed. These two pretty average, don't really cost anything. This doesn't really cost anything either, but you're looking for crit multi, you're looking for wed, accuracy, crit chance, lightning damage. It's the best I could do, and I need lots of int on my amulet. Pretty damn insane ring, good life, good accuracy, good early damage. And likewise for this ring, good accuracy, good wed, good life. One of the main things though, although this gear is really good and quite required for this type of build these days. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. It's not in super high demand, so you can get this stuff for relatively cheap. Like this cost me 20 chaos, I believe, and it's a just amazing ring. This was a 3 chaos amulet, which was just a regal. It was just a blue version of life and crit multi. Regaled it, put some crit on it, that's fine. This foil, I ended up buying it for 2 exalts from a viewer, but he bought it for about 40 chaos. And my previous foil before this was a little bit worse, but it cost me like 5 to 10 chaos. There's really no market for this type of gear, so it's actually pretty cheap to, well, cheap comparatively for what it should cost to put a character like this together. And then the most expensive things are Malagara's, Rat's Nest, Belly of the Beast. They each cost about 1 exalt. The point is, it's not an easy character to put together. You kind of need really strong gear, even if the gear's cheap and accessible. The point is, you're not going to get away without strong gear. So it's going to be tough to pull something like this off on an early league, and especially for jewels. You're not going to be able to find really good jewels without the league being fairly established and being able to search for the right things that other people aren't using. There's no real market for this type of jewel, so I've managed to buy pretty much all of these types of jewels for 5 to 10 chaos. One of those. They're all kind of the same sort of thing. Attack speed, project damage, life. Another one up here. And through the use of 2 static electricity to get 1 to 90 and 1 to 80. I won't go too far into the build though. I still do need to take care of Uber Atziri eventually. In another 5 levels or so. Maybe when we're fully ready to discuss the build, I'll go over it. But this is about it. And I went swords just because it's so much easier to get a sword like this than it is for daggers. And in the end, without going up here, I really don't want to. Swords versus daggers is basically no real difference. You're trading off a bit of crit for a bit of attack speed. And here we are with the foil. You're not going to be able to get a dagger like that. Not easily at all anyway. So I do believe swords is probably the way to go for now, unless you can start off with an absolutely insane dagger. If you can, by all means, go daggers. So, Buzzsaw, still alive, guys. Still alive. If you've got the setup and the gear, you can make it work. I have been Mathel once again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.